So we're going to start off with the first little red box with the camera in it, and we're going to start out with quality. The quality has to do with what format your camera's shooting in. Right now I have it set to a RAW file, so it will shoot a RAW photo. Or I could do a RAW file plus a L, which is a RAW file plus a JPEG. A lot of people have asked me which one's better, higher quality. The L JPEG, remember these are all going to shoot JPEGs or RAW. So the L with kind of the curved without the stairs in it, that actually shoots a higher quality than the one with the stairs. If you actually notice, you get 539 shots with just the large JPEG. If you get the next one down with the stairs, you get over 1,000 shots. So I like to keep it in one of two settings. I like to keep it in RAW plus L or just RAW, one of the two. Beep, I have that disabled. Shutter release card, I have that enabled. Okay, so if you want to view an image, let's take a shot. And it will stay up on my screen for 4 seconds. And then it will go away. So I have mine set to 4 seconds. This is just information about your lens, just in case for some reason that's wrong. Have that enabled. Red eye reduction enabled. And then flash control. If you guys want to know anything about flash control, I've got a whole tutorial on that. I'll put up a link. You can go watch that so you know how to work these functions, because this is a video within itself, all the functions that the flash control does. All right, we're on to our second little red camera icon. We're going to start here at the top. Now this exposure is to set up for like HDR photos. So what I've done is I've split it up. I'm going to do 3 different shots at different exposures. I'm going to click OK to set it. Then I'm going to take the 3 shots. Now the first shot's going to be normal exposure. Second shot you're going to notice is going to be a little underexposed. And then the third shot's going to be a little overexposed. Now, if you have Photoshop or Photomatrix or a piece of software that can edit HDR photos, you would take those 3 photos, you would smash them together, and then you would do your editing and you get an HDR photo that way. So anybody that wants to do HDR photos without Magic Lantern, just real basic, that is a great way to do it. Put it all back in. Now you're back to single shot. Click OK, and you're good to go. Next is your Auto Light Optimizer. Now, I like to use the standard one. Now, you have one that's called Strong, Disable, Low. I go with Standard. If you can mess around with these settings, see which one you like the best. Now, the metering modes. Most photographers use the evaluated metering mode. Some use a partial metering mode, and a few more will add the spot metering, and the evaluated metering seems to be the most popular. And then the center weighted, which I don't know anybody that uses that. Now, from my understanding, what metering does is it captures the light and uses a percentage of the light to help get your photo composed right. Now, evaluated metering, from my understanding, does more of a more broad spectrum, where partial metering uses a even smaller spectrum, and then spot metering is very, very precise, and it's all based off of percentages. So I find evaluated metering to be the best, so I stick with it. Now, custom white balance, again, I have a video that teaches you how to use your custom white balance, so I will put a link to that if you want to go find out how to properly custom white balance your camera. And then if you want to go back, you just hit menu. All right, white balance shift. Now, again, if you want to be real picky or really control your photo on a whole nother level, you can go in here and you can tell your camera how to shoot. So if you want to shoot a little cold, you want to shoot a little warm, a little in between, I just keep it as is. I never really need to change it, but I guess if you wanted to get a certain type of shot or a certain color within your shot, this would be a way to do it. Color space. I like RGB, or you could use the Adobe. It doesn't matter. I use the sRGB. And then your picture style, we talked about that earlier on in the first video. And I use the user definition one, but you can go through and change it or pick one of these standard auto settings. You can also import picture styles, but that's a whole nother video right there. But you could import custom picture styles. So there are some out there on the internet. All right, let's go back. Made it to the third red box with the camera in it, and we have two functions here. We have dust delete data and ISO auto. We'll just jump right to ISO real quick. Mainly, this just sets how high your ISO can go. I've got mine set to 64. You really should never use 64 because it looks horrible, but in some rare occasion you may need it. I have it set to that. Then you have what's called dust delete data. That's for a whole nother video, but mainly what it does is it's a way to take a picture, see if there's any dust. Well, it cleans your sensor, see if there's any dust in your photos, and it goes in and kind of tries to eliminate any dust in your photos. But if you guys are interested in learning that, I will shoot a video teaching you guys how to do it properly. Alright, we have made it to our last little red box with a camera in it. We have live view set up, and you can disable live view, and that's where you push this button right there, and then it gives you a live view of what you're doing before you take the picture if you don't want to look through the viewfinder up top. So we'll go back into menu. We keep that enabled. Then you have live viewed mode. You have a few different options here. This has to do with what the camera is going to focus on before it takes the shot. I find live mode to be the best. You can, again, mess around with it, see if you find something better. Grid, if you wanted to put a grid into your shot, anybody out there that needs a grid, you can put a grid in. You have two different options. I don't use a grid whatsoever. Aspect ratio, I keep it at 16:9. And then metering mode. Honestly, guys, I do not know exactly what the metering, or not metering mode, but metering timer. I don't know what it does. I've looked online. I've tried to read about it and understand what it does, but I'm lost. So if anybody actually knows what that means and can explain it in a way I can understand it, it'd be pretty cool. So I'm not flawless. I don't know everything, but that's one of the few functions on this camera I don't understand. Okay, these are kind of some of your editing tools here in the blue box. You can protect your images. You can go in, set up folders, unprotect all images in folders, and you can figure out which ones you want to protect, which ones you don't. Hit menu. Rotate, you can rotate your image with that. Erase image, of course, that's pretty self-explanatory. Print order, creative filters. This is kind of a cool little thing. You click creative filters and click set, and then you can go in and do different things. If I want to do a fisheye effect, and it just gave me a fisheye effect, and you can go in and low or high or strong. So we'll go with low, set, save as new file, okay, and now I have a fisheye effect. So you can do, it's kind of cool that you can do some of your own kind of special effects within the camera if you wanted to, and then you can go in and resize it if you need to as well. So our second blue icon, your histogram. Image jump, I've got mine set on the wheel to 1, so that means when I move my wheel it goes 1 image at a time instead of 10 images at a time. A lot of people have it set to 10. I think that's what it comes customly. You can set up a slideshow if you need to rate some photos. You can do that. Base boost, that's for if you do HDMI out and you're connecting to a screen so that people can, if people want to watch it. That has to do with the audio levels. So, and then you have the option to do HDMI here. All right, now let's go through here. Power off. I've got mine set to 2 minutes. A lot of people, when they have their camera, their shutter and everything will just shut off after like 30 seconds. So you can set that to a different time. So I've got mine set to 2 minutes, so my camera won't just go off on its own and for 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, it will do that shutter noise and then shut down. You got to push the little button at the top, the photo button, to get it going again, or turn it on or off. Or let's see, our auto rotate. So you can set it up to where auto rotates. I've got mine on. If you need to format your card, that's how you do it right there. I've got mine set to continuous on file numbering. You can do an auto reset or a manual reset if you want to, but I just continuously keep adding the numbers to my pictures. You can go in and do folders here, and then you can pick your screen color. A lot of people are always asking me how you do this. Again, we're in manual mode, so I can pick which color I want my screen. That's pretty cool looking. Black, white. This is what I have on my T3I, is this green one. I've had that one for like a long time. LCD brightness, LCD on and off. So this has to do with your shutter buttons. So the first one, if you click on it, what it will do is when you hit your shutter, it will turn that off. But see, after I let go, if I do a half click, as long as I'm holding down the half click, I'm good. Then I let go, boom, it comes back on. I can set it up to do this. So once I do my click, here we'll push display again up here at the top. Once I do my click, it's off for good. It doesn't pop back on, and then remains on. And then this one, once it's on, it doesn't go off. So once you've got the display on, even though I'm doing a half click and everything, it's just going to stay up there. So I like that one. That's actually going to be my new setting. I'm going to keep it like that from now on because I like that it doesn't go off. You can set your date and time right here. language. So if you are not English, you are one of these many other countries, then that would be, or you speak in one of these, or read and speak in another country, then you can pick it there. Your file system, NTCS. For people outside the US, it's PAL. Now, PAL settings when it comes to video, I'll just throw this out there real quick. NTCS does 60 frames per second, PAL does 50 frames per second. So a lot of people switch over to NTCS at 60 frames per second because they get that full 60 frames per second where you only get 50 and I think 30 with the PAL, and you get 24 and 60 frames per second with the NTCS settings. Sensor cleaning, if you need to clean your sensor, and then feature guide. Now that's where it gives you all your help and everything, so I could disable that. And if you notice, when I go, it doesn't give me like that information like it was earlier. When I'm scrolling through with the dial, it's not telling me about each setting, because when you scroll through with your dial and you've got that, and you've got your feature guide turned on, it will give you information about your settings, as you can see. So I have that disabled. I don't really need it. Okay, if you need to go in custom functions, you can go in and do some custom functions if you want to go in and set those up. Copyright information, if you want to go on and add in copyright information, you can go in. I could put my company name in there and all of that if I needed to. Clear settings, if I want to clear my settings, and then firmware. I have firmware 1.0.1 because it's a T3I, and I use Magic Lantern. So with Magic Lantern, it doesn't work on 1.0.2, which I think is the newest firmware update, which they might have fixed that by now with Magic Lantern. I'll have to check. So as you can see, I don't have Magic Lantern on this card though. So, and then you can go in and set up your menu settings how you like if you feel the need to. And that is your menus. If you got any questions, if I didn't make anything clear or you didn't understand something, please feel free to message me or leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer it. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Part 3 is going to be on the video settings. So we will skip down to the video settings for part 3, and we'll kind of go over that. So anybody that's got any questions on the video settings, just wait tight. We're going to have a nice little video so that I explain hopefully a lot of questions you may have or unanswered questions. And check us out on Facebook or Twitter at DAVIDDIMAGE. We're always putting up new pictures and doing stuff there that you don't get to see on the YouTube if you're interested. And hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Third one's going to be pretty awesome. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.